Alright, good morning everyone! We're back with our second issue of Member Melee June Joust Goats. I guess June Joust Neo Goats is the first one of it, but it's our second Member Melee. Yay. Hi, Sharp!
It is our second Member Melee, which means that the first one wasn't a big enough disaster for them to keep us forever.
Yes! Success!
Small victory.
How we measure success. It wasn't a dumpster fire, so we go again.
You know what? Even when it is a dumpster fire, we go game.
This is true. Consistency.
Yeah, like Kaden was saying, today we have our second Member Melee. It's Neo Goats, which was essentially the June Joust meta. It's like it has many names, but it's it's Winston, Diva, Reaper, Echo, and then I think it was Moira Lucio, right?
No, can't hear the other guy. What? Question mark?
Who's having it? Oh, they can't hear me?
It should be going through. It says it's going through. Is my thing lying to me?
You got me.
They're saying I have a huge echo. Why? Why are you like this? We can hear him.
Why are you like this?
Okay, well Nick says we can hear you, but it's low.
Oh, okay, so turn me up a little bit then.
There's a lot of background noise? There shouldn't be any background noise.
You might be getting trolled by chat.
This is a house of lies. Hold on.
I guess I could also check this out. Let me see. Actually, if Kai is here and watching, he can let us know as well. But
yeah, there's definitely some echo and issues.
On whose
why?
end?
I got it.
I think it might be around mic or something.
I fixed. We good.
Cool.
Hello.
Hello. Are you good?
Mm-hmm.
All right, awesome. Weird production stuff because 9,000 sources and stuff. It's fine. We're good. But yeah, basically, for anybody who doesn't know what this is, we get members off of our PECO Discord server. Basically, all of the paying members of PECO get some little perks. This is one of them, and they give us the role they want to play. We tell them the composition they're playing, and we also get coaches out of our pool of members as well. And so we're going to be playing 2 matches on stream today. The rubber match gets played off stream if we need more. But this is going to be basically people who've never played together before. So it's kind of like a pug setting. But in between each map and at the beginning of each map, you're going to get some coaching from our member coaches. And our member coaches today are Psycheric, who's going to be coaching, I believe his team name is...
Project Engagement. Psycheric is coaching Project Engagement.
Project Engagement, and then we have Unholy Canoe, and this one I remember because it's me, and it's the PECO Plats. So we have a whole bunch of our members today. It should be really fun. We enjoyed doing this last time, and now we got a kind of topical composition, right? It's one that was played in the most recent iteration of Overwatch League, so we'll see what our teams can make of it. It's probably going to not look as clean, but that's what we're here to do. We're here to learn, right?
Yep, I'm sure it's going to be perfect. Everyone's going to do it exactly how Shanghai did
Fearless
it.
on main tank?
Yeah, they're going to look like Fearless on main tank. It's going to be nuts. It's going to be fantastic.
Well, if that happens, I'd be super excited. But unfortunately, this week, you're not going to have my sultry voice and Kane's wonderful voice casting at the same time as well. We are going to be doing more of the desk job. We do have some casters with us this week, though, which is awesome. We have one community caster and one other person who has done a little bit of casting before. You know them, right, Caden?
Yes, he's my friend, and he's an amazing caster. He's been in a lot of community tournaments, and recently he's done some actual, paid casting work, because he kind of nuts.
Oh, fancy.
So yeah, so really excited to have him helping us out with the casting today, and it should be a really fun event. We're hoping to sort of keep up in the the ante on the production here. Shout out to Kai for helping put all the scenes together that I then flub by messing up the sound sources. So
you can't put that one on Kai though. That's all on you. You're terrible. You're the worst.
Yeah, no, that
obviously.
one 100% me. I thought hiding the audio source was going to mute it, and apparently it didn't. So it was coming through my camera as well as my mic, which is why there was an echo. I'm sorry.
It happens.
I know what I'm doing, I swear. But yeah, if we want to hop down, we can let the casters introduce themselves. And then after that, we'll be going to Team 1, Cyceric's coaching of Project Engagement to listen to their plans and all of that for the game.
Oh, yeah. And so, without further ado, let's go talk to the casters.
Yes. Hello, casters.
Hello, Caden. How is it going, everybody?
I fixed my audio issues. Yay.
We had a slight audio snafu, but what is a production without a slight snafu?
Exactly. If it's not an NA production, it's not a good production. That's all I gotta say about it.
From chat, Serenity, echo is meta, but not microphone echo. You know, you're not wrong. Sad.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Pain. But yeah, we were just talking about the comp and everything, but we wanted to let you guys introduce yourselves. So without further ado, go ahead.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and start us off. Hi, my name's Captain Jack. I'm an Overwatch caster. Been doing it for about 3 years now. My main community that I work with a lot recently is Overwatch Tranquility. Our most recent season had about 72 teams and 3 different tiers from gold to grandmaster going at it. And honestly, just seeing communities like that with such sprawling engagement is so great, which is why I'm glad to be here to help out PECO with their development and whatnot concerning players. And just recently I started climbing that casting corporate ladder, if you will. And so you might have seen me on places like North American and EMEA Open Division and Contenders Trials. So I do a lot of stuff around the tier 3, tier 2 community, and someday maybe I'll have a tournament of my very own. We'll see. We'll see. So how about you, Mixer?
Okay, so as he just said, I am Mixer Kraken. I'm a community member here at PECO at the student level. My casting so far has been limited to practice, but I was supposed to help with casting for my university this past spring.
Ooh.
Hence why it has been more limited, because everything we were starting out is somewhere else completely. So
the global disease pandemic slowing things down.
Yeah,
minor speed bump. It's fine.
Because I was actively in the tournament myself. So.
Well, you can't pull double duty? You're not that good.
Casting's just comms, right? It's fine.
The matches were at the same time, so.
Oh, no.
Oh, well, that's quite all right. We're very happy to have you guys here. We're going to be pretty much throwing it to you guys for the majority of this, especially when we're in game. Okay. We'll have you guys throw it back to us for a little bit of overview, and of course we're going to be keeping up tabs on what the goings on are going to be throughout the day. But yeah, I hope you guys have fun with this as well. Thank you guys for joining us and for taking this up so that Kate and I don't have to stumble our way through trying to do 90 different things. That's much appreciated.
My brain is potato.
No problem whatsoever.
But at that point, I believe it's 12:10, which means that I think we're going to go, and we should probably just take a look at some of the Team 1 comms, and then maybe we'll switch over to Team 2 comms before we get this started in about 10 minutes.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you guys again, and we'll be back for some, we'll throw it back to you guys for some casting when the game starts up.
All right,
thank
see you soon.
See y'all soon.
All right, so we're gonna be hopping into Team 1 right quick. Let's see. Let's swap scenes Which
determine if you have the ability to engage or if not. Your defense matrix is going to be the main thing stopping a lot of the damage, the Reaper, the
Everything
Echo,
about, except for Echo
and Monkey.
Laser.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
So you kind of have like the main control of who you're able to get onto. So along with Lumen, who also has the other resource-based part of the comp, you guys are going to kind of work together to decide what you can and can't attack, right? If Lumen says, I'm low on heals...
Right? You're the Moira?
Yeah, I'm the Moria.
Yeah, if Lumen says, I'm low on heals, then we should, as a team, realize that means we can't aggress and we should try to stabilize or play for an area rather than trying to fight. Because if they have more resource, if they have more defense matrices, they have more healing, they're going to win that composition because the whole composition relies on staying alive, staying consistent with healing and uptime. So if you're losing that war, you don't want to take the fight.
Right. Okay.
Okay. And yeah. So we're going to be going into Hollywood. Are we on attack or defense first? Okay, we're on defense first.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to want to see you guys is I want you to play from the first high ground. And you guys are going to be kind of playing like leapfrog between high ground. What I mean by that is you're going to hold the front high ground. Once that fight evolves, if you have to back up, I want you to pull back and then go on to the top of Cafe. Does everyone know where Cafe is?
Okay, so with the front high ground, you mean the one behind the arch? Right?
Behind the choke, yeah.
Not above like holding close, kind of.
Oh no.
That's hot spawn. That's hot spawn.
Yeah.
Because that's literally the first time.
It worked because it was a payload map. It didn't work because there's no point.
Yeah. But yeah, I want you guys to. That should be kind of your default is to play from the high ground and then fight contest the high ground because their team comp wants to get onto the high ground as well as an attacker. And being on the high ground innately gives you guys the advantage of holding it. If you get into second, where you're going to have to contest the point, that's going to be mostly your diva to contest, and then just keep playing that poke until an opportunity arises where AK Death is going to call, or Culver is going to call, and you're going to make that engagement and be fast about it, because every second matters. Overwatch is a game of seconds, so you're going to just need to keep playing out the timer. I think that's the 15 minutes, so...
Don't worry, you can feel free to keep talking, or we have dedicated map prep in about 1 minute, but you can feel free to use that time however you want.
Well, I guess any questions? I don't have anything else
you can
innately
talk about
to say.
Second or third point.
So second and third point...
Map specifically.
Okay, so second and third point. Second point, I want you to play from that front high ground, like the front left on defense. If that is contested, or if you guys die too late on first, you're gonna pull to the back right high ground, the other main building. And there's probably gonna be a fight on that bridge. Either they're gonna engage first, or you're gonna have to engage into them.
Okay, and we're gonna swap over to Team 2 now for comms.
So yeah, so now we are in, this is the time that was dedicated particularly for map prep. So if you haven't been talking about the map, you can feel free, it might be a good idea to start now, but of course, use your time how you want.
Sounds good to me. Yeah, that's
5 more minutes and then we start, yep.
5 more minutes, sounds good, thanks.
We should probably look at second point and third point too.
Yep, actually that's what we're gonna go to next, so. The second point here, what's the most valuable pieces of high ground on this map?
Just both of the roofs.
Right, you have this high ground here and this high ground here. So you're going to have your first fights that are generally staged around this high ground, and your next fights are going to be staged around this high ground. Whether or not you take this high ground early is going to depend on how the kills are timed with you capturing the point. So if we get a bunch of, like a team kill really early on and we only have like 1 tick, let's say we do a dry fight and we get a tick, and then we go in with our ults and we get the rest of the ticks and we capture the point. Most likely 3 or 4 players have already respawned here, so they're going to be in control of this high ground first. What do you guys think is the best plan to take control of this high ground if they already have players there?
Depends on if they have the full team or not.
Sure, absolutely. Assuming that they have let's assume that they have the full team there. What does everybody think a good plan is? Or what's a good place to stage to take control of this high ground?
Probably at the elevator.
Elevator's a good spot, sure.
Yeah.
Generally, we want to stage in places where we don't have to use our cooldowns to get there.
Right, yeah.
So a good place to do that is going to be elevator, right here. But the only problem with elevator is it's hard to get 6 players there.
Right.
And it's also hard because all this damage funnels right into the spot where you're going to be coming up to the elevator from.
Against this comp, we can push cart right up to underneath them and then try and take the fight from underneath them.
Yeah, that too. We should wait for cart to be pushed up a bit before we commit too much to the high ground.
Yep. So if that's the case where we cap point after like a full team kill, or we don't get all of the enemy respawning back here, then we probably do. If we can do that, if we can take this high ground early, we absolutely want to. But if we can't, let's take the cart and just get it to in this area here, and then we can either take elevator to the opposing high ground, leaving one person on cart, like your Echo or your Reaper, with a mobility to get away and back with the team to get heals and to peel, or we can just jump right onto the high ground with our Winston Diva, Echo Reaper, things like that. Does that make sense?
I'll also be big on ults here, like what we've got for ults as well.
Yep, that's going to be really important in pre and post fight planning. So we kind of want to go through our checklist. What else do we have? What else does the enemy have? Where should we be staging our next fight from? Those are the first 3 things that we should be thinking about and being proactive on, because where we stage is going to kind of depend a little bit on what else the enemy has and what else we have, right?
Yeah.
Like if we don't have Primal, we don't really want to be in a super aggressive spot that's going to put our monkey in a bad position. If we don't have Diva Bomb, we don't want to put our Diva in a bad position that's going to get her demeched. If we don't have Echo Ult, same thing. Like we don't want to get really aggressive with our Echo. So we want to keep a lot of those things in mind when we're kind of deciding where we want to prep, where we want to stage, what ults we want to use to engage, or what ults we might want to use reactively against their ultimates. Does that make sense? Cool. And obviously this isn't going to be perfect. And another thing I want us to keep in mind as well, before we get into anything else, nobody on the team is going to make a call that's going to purposely lose us a fight, right? Everybody in this lobby wants to win. So let's keep that in mind when our teammates make calls. Even if we've got some doubts, understand that they made that call with the information that they have and the information they've been given that they think is going to win them team fight, win us the team fight.
Hello. All right.
Hello. Yes.
Hello.
So I like both kind of team coaching styles so far. We had Holy Canoe doing a lot more of the kind of ask and respond kind of stuff, where Sai was doing a little bit more of like a hey, let's just talk about going over some main some kind of like more main things about this comp and like what we're doing. Both perfectly fine and valid. I think we'll see which one is going to help them more at the end. But I'm excited for this. How about you, Caden?
I'm so excited I'm excited to see more. I mean, this is still a higher SR lobby compared to last week, but it's more average players versus actual pro players. So I'm really excited to see what this looks like in a sort of like quick and dirty skirmish type scenario.
Not practiced completely.
Yeah, so it's going to be really cool.
I think that this comp can definitely have a lot of the way that it's played, at least at the pro level, right? Is that the Reaper goes in and then everybody kind of follows up as he gets teleported in, which takes a lot of coordination. Which I know that some of these teams, like at least one of these teams, has had a scrim last night, so they have a little bit of time playing together, but maybe not a whole lot. But we'll see. And I'm excited to get into this. So with that, let's throw it over to our casters for this first game on Hollywood.
Yep, let's go.
Awesome.
Welcome. Glad to have you back here with us. We actually were taking some time while you were in the comms, talking about the meta that we're gonna be seeing today. Because myself, I have to kind of because there's so much Overwatch action to take in, I always have to choose between various loves based on what's going on. And it was Contenders season. I had to be paying a lot more attention to Contenders because those are teams that I'm actually going to be interacting with a lot more often than Overwatch League. So I was just talking with Mixer about this meta that we're seeing, this Neo Goats. During the June Joust due to the hero bans. And I gotta say, as you were saying, Mixer, the composition, opting in the Winston for the Rhine that wasn't available to essentially create a divey bulldozer composition is incredibly interesting.
That is correct. As I said to him earlier, because of the ban on Reinhardt, Winston being replaced for Rhine is the choice here, and actually forces the engagements to have to happen in a way to where it's going to be more so dive based at moments.
That's true, and the thing about dive, as we all know, it has to be very coordinated, and all these players are from various different teams, so we'll see how that coordination works out. Already we see the dive coming in from the PECO flats, trying to gain some ground on the high ground. Canada jumping on in with Big Ben, just kind of booping everyone onto that low ground, but due to their similar composition, they're able to get back pretty easily. The trade comes in between Eze and Canada, tying it up 5-5 right now, but the control point is still being held right now by Project Engagement. They're going to go ahead and re-engage on the high ground as Ogara does find the finalization on Big Ben. Trades there with Eric Culver, and it looks like for now the fight will go ahead and disengage as a minute gets burnt off the clock.
What's interesting about that entire engagement is how that worked out entirely between the Echo and Reaper picks at the very beginning there, as well as the fact that Ogara got just oof. I don't know.
Take your time, no worries.
Engagement is starting now.
All right, so the fight's going back in as Ogara already finds Big Ben a little bit out of position from the rest of the dive group. But Canada does get the trade onto Chase. Great way to start things off. Coalescence gets him mad with the feed as a self-destruct. Canada goes high and does ring out salute to Lumen as they go ahead and make their way back to spawn. Ogara sends the bomb in as well, but not able to grab the same value they're looking for. The 4v4 on point as Eze makes an easy clean up on the objective, grabbing the triple kill with the help of Chase and Ogara, and that is once again gonna send the PECO Plats back to spawn with a very sad stagger there on Canada.
Engagement honestly feels like they're a little bit more coordinated than PECO Plats right now.
Mm-hmm.
That is definitely a fact. I wanted to say here that the beat into the Coalescence was actually kind of big, but at the same time, the beat bomb also came into effect there.
That is true. Now the full dive going onto the high ground. We do see the duplicate Reaper coming in, being met now with a duplicate Diva from Project Engagement. So now it's 3 tanks versus 3 DPS, seeing who can pay off in greater dividends. The Reaper does end up not getting that Blossom in time, but the self-destruct of Chase, followed by the Stickies, grabs the triple kill, clearing quad kill. There's nothing that can stop Chase right now with a minute left on the clock. It seems that the PECO Plats need to start thinking about climbing and a lot less about being in that plat rank.
Yeah, for sure. Chase and I really cleaned up that fight rather rapidly by himself. That's clean.
Seeing the positioning for Eric Culver right there, using the Primal to go ahead and box in the PECO Plats into this back corner. Ize does find Big Ben as the self-destruct trades out Eric Culver, but Ize is not going to let that slide, going to continue to be getting picks on that Reaper, trying to make this an easy fight for them to win. Right now, 10 seconds remaining on the clock as the beat gets fed in from Sucrose to go ahead and try to keep this point alive. Blossom out from Ize, takes down the shield, but doesn't do enough damage to be able to finalize the elims. But here comes the rest of Project Engagement, cleaning up what Ize left behind, and with their help, the objective gets cleared, and not a single tick is taken on Alpha.
Oh boy. How is PECO Plats gonna come back from this one? That is what I want to know now. I'm sure because that is gonna be rough, because all that Project Engagement has to get to win the map is one tick.
That's truly what it comes down to, and I think a lot of what we were seeing right there, as we were watching the engagements go down, it seems that PECO Plats was on one hand or the other, right? They either chose to like dive in individually, staggering the dive, so that, which is, you know, how your typical dive works. You know, the Winston goes in, does a little damage, gets a little damage, jumps out, gets healed, the D.Va goes in, and then you just kind of see this trade. But in a composition like this, I feel that it's more suited that you have more of paired dives going in, because you have the Reaper and the Echo that can also dive in with those tanks, providing a lot more cover fire, providing a lot more damage, and can be a lot more destructive. But for the PECO Plats, we were seeing either that individualistic dive or the whole team dive, and neither of those really works against diving into a full 6 stack like we were seeing set up from Project Engagement.
That is very true here. It's going to be interesting to see how PECO Plats here changes their strategy here on the defense, because they're going to have to in order to keep up long enough to hold that tick.
That is absolutely true, and if I remember my schedule correctly, I believe we're supposed to be sending it to one of the teams, correct, producer, in between, to get some coaching. So we are going to go ahead and send you over to one of the teams so that you can see what they're discussing right now. We'll see you on the other side.
For sure.
And then, Ezzy, when you go for a Reaper ult, always ask your D.Va for defense matrix. Say, D.Va, do you have DM? I'm ulting. Because that will let your D.Va use defense matrix so you don't get burned in the ult. You didn't get burned during the ult, but it's something later on. Yeah, you should have gotten burned.
It worked out because they weren't playing well, not because I'm good.
Well, don't...
You're not good.
There's stuff, and I don't want it to be like, oh, they're not good, because we're, you know...
No,
coaching.
That's just how I see it. That's just how
okay.
I
okay.
Yeah.
So...
I'm not gonna cry.
Another thing is for AK Death. When there is a D.Va contesting you as Echo, you can call that, because that D.Va is then feeding. If you see the D.Va, like on first point, when the D.Va is chasing you all the way back to like the back of car on point, call that, because that in itself can be a trigger. She's out of position and you guys can jump her. And you have the mobility to continue it.
Can we
other than
a little
that,
bit about ult economy? Like, I'm not sure what we try to use first on ults here, because ult, like 5 ults at the same time.
Ult economy for this composition is kind of loosey-goosey. You use it where you need it. Coalescence is the only real initiator that you're going to see, because it has that sustain over time. But like D.Va Bomb can be used if you're ever going to get demeched, or you see an opportunity, because like if the enemy Winston uses his bubble, you know, if you call it and say, I'm engaged with bomb, you can just throw it over a corner and then your team pushes in. And
I just speak about it because we were just like, don't be afraid to use ults. It's just, I mean, it's obviously important to know that we can use ults, but like, what do we use? Not like 6 ults, like go.
If you use your ult, shout it out like crazy. When you use it at least, so somebody else knows not to use his own ult at the same time.
Yep.
I would agree.
Like never ult without saying anything.
Yeah, and a lot the ults in this composition are pretty lenient on its usage because they come back relatively fast, and they minus Reaper ult, but Reaper ult's kind of a shot in the dark a lot.
He's versus Monkey, it comes up fast.
Yeah,
he's versus Monkey Diva.
and for beat, so for shake and bake, you can use your beat aggressively. So if you want to take an engagement onto their Reaper or their Lucio or their Echo, you guys can say, all right, let's aggro beat, and you speed in. Don't use it initially, but use it like a second and a half in. So give that window so that your team can take some damage and then get over shield.
Great.
That's just a skill that you develop over time, and it really gives more oomph to your ult. Other than that, I think you guys did really good on your defense, and let's see how you do on offense.
I say we run this comp.
Yeah, we're actually running
We're
goats,
only running this
comp.
It's not goats.
Yeah, we got the memo. It's goats time.
May Reaper, May Reaper.
I love that.
Alright. Well, good job, guys.
Oh, shit.
Good luck.
I gotta go, Lucio.
Good luck, have fun.
Alright, hey, what are we doing?
All right, welcome back, folks. Now we're gonna see if the coordination that we had from the side of project engagement can indeed engage properly. And actually, very interesting positioning right here. Actually just taking the stairs, not even worried about diving in. Just it's like, nah, we don't need to use any of those like flying abilities or anything. We're just gonna walk up the stairs like normal people. Unfortunately, you're not an actual Goats meta, so we're just gonna see the shred come in as 40 seconds gets taken off the clock.
That was a rather rapid engagement there. Yeah. Like I almost missed that entire fight.
It was definitely a poke. I feel like they're trying to figure out for this composition the best way to work it out, and they're trying to stay grouped up for as long as possible, essentially forcing the defense to dive in on them, which as of right now, despite it not working out on their attack, is working out incredibly well on the defense.
That is for sure. Because we've already seen that Ogara already being a little bit more staggered right now.
Ooh, and there it is. Gonna get staggered out really well right there as the DMAC comes in late, and will get taken down by Anor there at the end.
Unlucky for Ogara. They need to wait for the respawn on Ogara here, which is going to burn a little bit more time. But these tiny close engagements are a little bit more like what you saw like out of New York Escalier in the Jin Joust, if that says anything.
Yeah, that definitely would seem like an NYXL move right there, which again, if it were regular goats or like a goats variant, that would definitely be right, you know? Like being able to close engage like that, but you gotta be a little bit more quick at the draw, because if not, O Canada gonna catch you with your pants down right there, grabs the double kill to lead off, but we do see the beat invested by Shake and Bake to try to hold everything together. Self-destruct from Reaper on that Echo does end up finding much of nothing, and the self-destruct traded in from Ogara finds nothing but shield as well. But those trades are continuing to poke in. O Canada has been demagged, and the Blossom just gets eaten up by Ogara, but does end up losing their mech in the end. Just not enough DM to hold it all together. Minute 20 remaining on the clock, and it looks like the PECO Plats just seem to be more of a defense team.
That is for sure. And I really feel like that fight was won just by the pure decision to duplicate D.Va there. Just merely because they could force out the beat with the initial D.Va bomb from the Echo and then fire their own D.Va bomb right after to finish off that beat damage or protection. Or shields, I should say, actually.
Yeah, and I think one of the biggest things that they're losing out on is the additional value of the Echo, right? Having those multiple ultimates back to back can be incredibly helpful, but the Echoes that we've seen so far chased in Reaper aren't able to get those multi-bombs. Oh!
Oh my lord!
put up the hand salute for O Canada with that beautiful triple kill just barely before that bubble came out from Eric Culver to try to save the day. It didn't hit the ground fast enough. With 10 seconds on the clock, it's going to be a rush to see if Project Engagement can get that first hit.
That was an insane bomb. That was a coin up and a half there.
All right, beat used from Shake and Bake to go ahead and engage on the objective as we see Reaper coming out with the D.Va duplicate. Let's see if we can get some double bomb action on the field. Anor popping out that Blossom, not able to find the value as the cleanup just continues to come in. Oh, Canada just lights up the kill feed with Sucrose and Big Ben. They are just rocking it right now. The defense holds strong for both teams, as both teams, I don't know why it says PECO Platts won. Nobody won this. 0 people won this match. It was tied up all the way, but I guess this goes to show, right, that this composition requires an incredible amount of coordination. And if that coordination is not on peak, the defense is going to have the advantage. They have the high ground, they have the positioning, and they get to choose where the fight takes place if the attackers don't take it to them first. So I think what's important with this composition is to really understand and utilize the essence of speed and pairing. Like we were saying before we went to the teams when the round swapped over, having those pairs of like Echo with the D.Va or Ryan with the Winston, to be able to not only counter the damage that's coming in and deal out your own, but just to provide that additional support so it doesn't seem like it's a constant 1v6 fight as you trade in those dives.
Just for the brief correction here, I hate to correct you here, but it's actually the Winston and Reaper on that one.
Oh, yeah. That is true. Sorry about that.
You're fine.
You know what? I just want Ryan to fly. All right, just let Ryan fly like Winston or D.Va. Please, come on, Blizzard, help us out. Help us out. I mean, we've got Torb wall climbing. We've gotten so many various things. Zenyatta walking before Zenyatta could stretch. I just want to see Ryan fly. I just want to see a Ryan fly.
All right. Flying and you get shadows from Narnia.
Exactly. And those will be the best Narnia shatters. So based on our schedule, it looks like we're going to go ahead and head to a VOD review on the desk to go ahead and see them break down the action a little bit further. So I'm going to go ahead and send you all over to him. We'll see you for map 2.
See you for map 2.
Hello. Oh, I muted myself in Discord. Hi, Sharp.
How's it going? Yeah, that was awesome.
Dude, they both full health. They both full health. What?
I was a little nervous. I thought there might be a team diff, and then all of a sudden it happened the other way too. It was kind of nuts.
Right? Yeah, I was surprised. Like, I had the same worry. I was like, oh no, I swear these were balanced. I did the math, you guys. There's a spreadsheet and everything. And yeah, they're just defense teams, I guess, both of them.
We are a defensive-minded team on both teams, so it works out. But we did get the classic hallmarks of this comp. D.Va bombs everywhere, and then the dueling Moira beams. It was insane, and this was a really interesting map to see this happen because it is a hypermobile comp, but hypermobile comps even then struggle against high ground.
And it's just it's like
high ground is so powerful.
It's what's so weird about this is it's a mobile comp, and normally you think mobile comps they come from different angles. This mobile comp is just a mobile death ball. It's so weird.
Yeah.
But
yeah, and it's weird because it has the vestiges of the old death ball with Reaper and like I guess Echo, but like if you would replace that with Pharah from like the old death ball,
right?
And the dive tanks on Winston and D.Va, and so I think a lot of people looking at this comp would be like, it looks like you've essentially taken two comps and stitched them together.
Yes.
But
it works.
It does operate a lot more like that kind of rush style comp, the very linear comp, even though we have this ability to jump around on Winston and D.Va and to be a little bit more mobile. It is very linear, and linear comps struggle against high ground.
It's like Speedy Goats. It's a Speedy Goats comp.
It's a fast Goats. And also from Goats, these fights go forever.
Goats go zoom! I do want
to... 3 D.Va bombs, nobody died.
I was going to say, I want to point out, I don't think the casters noticed this. If they did, they didn't say anything, but Oh Canada... at least twice stayed in pilot diva mode on their defense and was just sitting around corners waiting. I noticed that first time they were on that corner that Project Engagement kept taking at first for their initial fights, and I was like, oh, they want it. And of course that's the one time that they finally are like, we're gonna go high ground this time. I was like, wait, no, it would have been funny. And then I wanted the funny haha remake, and then I thought he was gonna get
through security ones.
Yeah, at one point they were on security and they were waiting on the reefer to come through, and I thought it was gonna happen, and then I think maybe the wall was just enough to block it, but I was like, give me the funny haha, give me the funny haha remake. I want it. So we still have one more map. It could still happen.
Of course, I would I need to see one.
Like at least
with
one.
All of these divas, there has to be one.
Yeah, like
right?
between the Echo divas and the Diva divas, like, come on.
Like, please, we need this. And so, yeah, like you said, we have another map. Currently, we are in a phase where both coaches are going to be doing some VOD review, and we definitely want to get into that. We're going to follow that with about a 5-minute break, and then we're going to get into our second map, which I believe is Dorado, right?
I think so, yeah. I think that's what was agreed upon.
100%, which should be interesting. I was not expecting so fast of a match. I thought maybe at least somebody would make a mistake and we'd end up with them getting like a first point cap and we would see point 2. But no, we don't play in streets apparently with this comp. So.
Just point control. This is only point control. It's fine. So, but we'll get to see a little bit more with it being just strictly escort next map.
So at this point we'll see the maps develop a little bit more, hopefully. But again, Dorado, a map very like known for getting like big first point stalls. There's a lot of high ground. There's a lot of choke points that you can exploit. You can stall out on Dorado 1 very hard. Basically, it's just one of those where like you either stop them on 1 or you stop them at the end of 2.
Yeah,
so
it'll be tough.
I think we could see some interesting stuff here. I'm interested to see what the coaches got for them. So let's hop into some of these chats and see what Psycheric and Holy Canoe got for us.
Yes, we're gonna go over to Team 1, Psycheric, with Project Engagement first.
Makes you at a disadvantage. So if you are going to force a fight onto them, you need to play incredibly fast. Right? Coming out and sitting on the high ground in this corner, once you're through the choke, is just going to give them the advantage because you guys are just a ball of hit points. And the comp plays to the advantage of chaos and speed and aggression.
Rush, don't brawl.
Yeah, effectively. This is a brawl comp with rush characteristics. If you sit in a choke where you guys are, like, look, there's 4 of you still in the choke here. They get the advantage of their comp without needing to be mobile. You guys are letting them brawl you for free, and that means that you guys just get shredded because your hit point box, your health bars and body are just getting shredded. There was also a call, like, if you guys did push out, I know Culver was calling that Echo was low. Like, you guys could have easily pushed through and you would have gotten a pick on the Echo, no doubt. Because look, she's very low.
I had no clue where she was. I remember that call.
Yeah. So when you are going somewhere, make sure you're pushing through and onto something. If you sit in the choke and you kind of just sit there and play monotonously, you're gonna get caught out. So let's look at, because this is all just a result of last fight. Let's see how you take next. So this is a similar situation where you do call to go bottom left into, I believe, this area. I did, when I heard your guys' call, someone said, let's go right and wrap around. So I thought you were going to where we talked about, like coming in, taking Cafe High. But this is also effective. Similar to what we said before.
What we were doing, I was just running after Monkey, to be honest.
So if you are going to, as a group, if you are going to make this rotation here, while you are in this area with the Mega, right? The Mega's over here. What you should do is you should take the time to stabilize, right? You have two options with this composition, is to stabilize or aggress. So because you're going to be using your DM, your heals, all to get through this choke, through this straight line, you can use the time here to get those resources back, to recuperate, and then take a better fight in an area that's better for you guys. Similar things can be said here. Because this area is smaller and you can get through it faster, you don't need to stabilize as much when you come onto the high ground. But yeah, you need to be able to be aggressive when you're being aggressive, and to chill out and heal when you need to. Because coming through here and then forcing a fight as soon as possible can mean you're really low on resources. So you all come over here, and then you immediately come to the backup point, which is good. Taking your team to play onto the corner. They start their rotation, and look at all these resources that they're using to engage onto you guys. D.Va used their boosters. Monkey just used his leap in front of you. This needs to be called immediately, because all of you saw it. Right? He's inside of you guys. He gets burned. He just made the worst mistake he could have. He already used his bubble, so he can't use it there. So all of I should be on this monkey. So if we watch it back, the reason I'm calling that is because if we watch, our focus and the target priority is still split. Some of us are looking at Lucio, some of us are looking at Reaper. Our Echo's looking at their Reaper. When this monkey should be focused, he should be burnt immediately. 2 seconds of the DM, the shield's already down. This is now the main target, and this was not called adequately during it. So that's going to be the main thing that leads to this fight not working out, when I think you guys had the advantage and you would have won this if the target priority was more on point.
Okay, now we're gonna go over to team 2. And we're gonna go back to team 1. Okay.
So Monkey needs to be pretty much the meat shield as you push through this choke, if you are going to decide to. And same things as we said before, you have to be more decisive when we do. There is one thing that I wanted to point out, because a D.Va bomb gets y'all here somehow.
I think it's a little bit later. I think it's
no, this one.
I was getting bullied by a monkey there.
Okay, I did not see that. Okay. I was like, how did this happen? But yeah, so if this should be called, because if you're being zoned with Coalescence, your team kind of expects Coal healing. And also I think you pathed backwards when you should have been kind of pushing forwards.
I thought that bomb was on the corner, so I was gonna walk forward where Blue Monkey is now and walk through there. Was my plan there. But I thought that bomb was right in that choke.
I'm just trying to see what stops you from pushing forward with the team. Like I don't. Oh, did you get juggled that whole time? Is that what was happening? Because you should have been through the choke with your Coalescence, like when you're pushing through. So let's see how it happened. Because this is okay. Like we had said earlier, make sure you throw an orb before culling. It's just free healing. Okay, so this is kind of because we don't have the monkey. So returning the Culver, we wanted to push forward. Like I saw Lumen, they were like, yeah, I want to go forward, but no one's in front of me. So yeah, this kind of all ties back to needing that front line so that you're able to aggress. Because remember, this is a choke here. This is a very aggressive choke, especially when you have 6 enemies on the high ground. Pushing through here, you need to pretty much be stacked. The Echo's coming up on the flank. This is really good from Chased here.
Hi, Sai. So I'm going to ask you to finish up a whatever thought you got going on now, and then we're going to take a 5-minute bio before the next map.
Okay. I think that's pretty much whatever we were talking about.
Awesome. Then all of the players and coaches, of course, should feel free to take 5, take care of your business, and then we'll meet back here for, I believe it's a 5-minute, 10-minute map prep for Dorado, and then we'll hop on into the second map, which is, like I just said, Dorado. So enjoy.
Okay, so we're just gonna do a really quick bio break for everyone, and then we'll be back here shortly. So yeah, BRBs, guys.
Hello, everybody. We are back. Thank you for saying hi to me in chat, RWL. You're the best.
Hi, RWL. I see 3IQ Gamer says, give me hit scan next time. You don't even know what theme we're running next time. What if you don't want to do hit scan in that comp?
Yeah, what if hit scan is Tracer and you're like, but I want Widow?
Or what if we go goats and hit scan is now Brig?
Oh my god. I didn't know that we were going to like torture these people.
We're just gonna regress. Or Slambulance. No, remember Slambulance?
I love goats. People hated goats. I loved Slambulance too. That was just like way too much. It was just like we have all of the resource and almost 0 damage, but you can't kill us.
Just a meat grinder. It's like just throw your bodies at them. Whoever pushes W harder wins. So I love those. I'm also mostly a tank and support player, and then the 2 DPS that I usually played were Mei and Sombra. So I was like,
so you got to play in goats.
Yeah, I was like, this is fine.
Like whenever they did a variation, you were like, Snoats, I got it. And then they were just like, like Sombra goats, I'm in it.
I loved me some Snoats. I did that for my birthday last year. I was doing pugs in my Discord, and for like my birthday present to myself, I was like, we'll do goats row like we usually do. But then I gave my team Mei and only my team and played Mei, and they got really mad, and I was like, but it's my birthday.
Favoritism, yeah.
Just this one map, guys, give it to me. So
absolutely amazing.
I'm...
So I don't know how you feel about this. Maybe we can gauge chat's reaction. But if this second map is as fast as that first one, maybe we get a rubber match on stream.
Yes, agreed. Agreed.
Awesome.
I love. So we have a score like board this time, right? But like it was a draw. So I was like, okay. Which I guess technically
would technically be winner take all.
Yeah.
I guess if is it best of 3? Is it first 2-2? Right? You get all those kind of weird things that I have to explain to people, especially when that happens in Overwatch League a lot too, right?
Yeah.
Where people think it's best of 5, and then all of a sudden a 6th match comes up, and they're like, "What?"
Yeah, it's like no, it's first to 3.
Best of 5.
It's first to 3. These are different things. Like in Overwatch, where you can get ties on half the map. Technically 3 of the maps, Escort's just really hard to tie on. Like it's ties happen. Like what's the freaking Boston and Houston one that went 7 maps? I was so tired. Exactly. I was like, at first I was like, yeah, this is awesome, this is fun, this is going back and forth, and then I was like, please end. Please just end it. I don't even care who wins anymore. Just end it.
There was also this famous contenders match with Runaway and Korean contenders, where I think it was right before the GOATS season 2 of Overwatch League. It was like Vancouver as Runaway.
Okay.
And, it went I think it went 8 maps.
Oh my god.
And I was exhausted.
Could you
by the end of that set.
imagine if that was still a thing and Control was still scored the way it was on
5s,
release?
you mean? Oh
yeah,
my
where it
god.
was 5 instead of 3.
Oh my god, these matches would be 9 hours long.
They would go so long, it'd be like a baseball game length for one match.
Like
it would be
it would be like a
ridiculous.
soccer match.
Could you imagine? Oh my god. And then that's
football.
And that's always the go-to, right? For the tiebreaker is Control, because you literally cannot tie on Control. And
which is amazing.
Oh my gosh, imagine. Oh, it'd be so awful. It'd be so awful.
They would just lose. They would lose viewers just to attrition.
Yeah. And even the players at that point, it's a mental game. Jeez.
Especially for the players, right? That would just be so much. That's why we have them take breaks and stuff like that. It would be way too much.
They'd be tired. They'd be hungry.
For 3 games without any kind of break.
4.
But I actually do think that's 5 minutes for us. I think that was our 5-minute bio. I think right now at this point they should be hopping on over into their. They get about 10 minutes prep for the next map. And so of course we're going to Dorado. We already said that we expect something similar to Hollywood going on here. You got that initial high ground that's hard to take, some really strong chokes, and even if you get to streets phase, it'll be an interesting time. A lot of high ground still. A lot of high ground on Dorado.
It's very defense favored, I feel like, Dorado. And these two teams have already shown to be much better at defense. So we'll see how this goes.
Yes, exactly. Yes. So let's hop into some of these channels and see what they got talking about for Dorado.
Yes, I'm going to be going into PECO Plats.
Oh, let's go.
Let's go.
Would most likely have do that is going to be either a monkey or a diva. If they're monkey, and unlikely, right? If their monkey and their diva are set up here and they just immediately jump on the echo, well, you guys are probably also just going to be right around this area, or you're going to be right around here, which means you can just come out this door and then you can jump on their monkey and diva, which now don't have cooldowns. So, or if they just have one player, right? One player here, like a diva or a monkey or somebody perched on one of these high grounds that wants to try to jump on our echo can just fly.
Probably, I think the way it be run here is to have like both of these high grounds here. They have everyone but then Moira and their Lucio on those high grounds, and Moira and Lucio sit across, and they have that there. So like you literally can't go through there with one person.
Sure, and if that's the case, you just regroup. Right, our echo might die, but that's fine. We just take the rest of our 5 players and we either go back into spawn, or you can still continue to go to this high ground. Your echo's going to come out of spawn, right? She can come out of high ground and pump in some damage here. You can still continue to come down underneath this way and stage your dive on this high ground now.
Yeah,
you're losing a little bit of that. You're losing a little bit of that cart push, but now you're actually put into an advantage where their Lucio and their Moira are stuck on this high ground where they either have to retreat this way or they have to retreat to the low ground here. Like they don't have mobility, which if you're putting pressure on the squishes they leave here, they have to use their cooldowns and their abilities to get back over this high ground to contest you.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like if you by you splitting up one character here, it essentially causes them to want to contest that person. They're like, oh my gosh, there's one squishy on cart. It's really, really tempting for them to try to jump on that character. But Echo's got a flight and she flies away, avoiding the damage. And when they do that, whoever they dedicate to this person is now out of cooldowns and they're out of the fight.
Mm-hmm.
So regardless, you're left with a 5v5. Or because you didn't use any movement cooldowns to get here, you dive from this area over back onto cart, and you just dive whoever just dove your echo.
Mm-hmm.
So moving on to second point, what's probably the most important high ground on this second point?
All right, so we have 8 minutes. 8 whole minutes.
No, it's okay.
Scrim preset. No, where's my test?
Whatever, just open them.
I'm working on a.
I'm walking here.
We're just putting pressure.
Walking here.
Might want to put yourself on spec.
Short message me.
Okay.
All right. So coming into the point here, as you're playing, I want you guys to be playing this area here, and then when the cart is able to progress to about this point is when you're going to make those main engagements. You're also able to come to this high ground here, but you need to be wary of the echo. She's probably going to be playing from here, or maybe even like past this onto the other side. But this is probably the main area she's going to be playing from. So then you can back up, play here when cart engages. The call needs to be made very quickly if you guys are not able to hold this. So you're able to pull back and play for this corner. If the cart is progressing, you even could come back like up here, but your diva is going to be the one that needs to contest cart. And then after that, you're pretty much just playing for last touch if you die here. And you're going to need to be playing this high ground. You could get away with, like, coming and chilling over here, but this is just the better position to be in. For second, this high ground, pretty obvious. You want to chill on here. I like to engage once the cart is here. But you can engage here. It's just that you get some weird angles. Like someone can chill here, and they have a lot of they can peel out of the fights if you fight too quickly. In this fight, and everyone on your team or on the enemy team has mobility, so it's to be expected. Coming into this area, if you won that fight over here, or if they won the fight, you can attempt to come onto this high ground to contest here. Like if you got wiped really quickly, like they made an aggressive play, you can come back up here to defend for that. But if that's not possible, I want to see you guys come up from this high ground here, and then hold for final. Coming into point 3, if you get wiped on point 3, you're probably just going to be playing for this half. So you're going to need to path your Moira up here and play for center and fight when Cart's about here. And if it gets further, then you're going to want to fight here. And then last touch, you're probably going to want to send people just on the point and maybe even out here if you have time. But this is going to be your main touch. It's final. So when we go into our defenses, what I want to see you guys looking for, and that we've talked about before as well, is the areas where like Reaper uses Fade. The calls, we're getting the calls through, but I want to see more like quick action. So if we're Monkey, right, I should probably go back, but
your front, you need to go to bank.
Ew. Okay, well, I'll just be Tracer. I want to see Monkey, when you do engage onto someone, I want you to try splitting them off with your bubble. So if you're jumping onto a Reaper who used Fade, you can jump onto them and then you can bubble here so that you kind of split them from their team, make this barrier so that while your team is up, they have to step in and be like much closer to your guys' spam and cleave to get value off of. Like supporting the Reaper. And also just as a team, I want to see these engagements be a lot more definitive, because your rotations as a team have been kind of like the pacing of everyone is like split up when I want you all to be a ball. I want you to act as a unit. Monkey's there. All right, we're going. And then everyone jumps onto him.
Okie dokie. So there's some map prep from both Project Engagement and PECO Platts as they're getting ready to go on Dorado. Both the coaches were going over some pathing plans and working with their players on trying to clean up their engagements and whatnot and target focus. All those things that you generally want to focus on in a team. And just a reminder that these teams are members from PECO. They signed up for this event. If you want to participate in the next one, you just need to grab membership. It starts as low as $1 a month for community, and then $5 for students and $10 for professional. And you can be in the next one of these, and it's really fun and educational.
And we, of course, that's not all you get if you're a PECO member. We also do Member Mondays, which is our little Q&A session that we stream here. You can ask some questions of our coaches and our staff members. And also we play pugs after, which are just, little fun scrimmage-like games. If you've never played in an organized custom game, they are a hell of a lot of fun.
And that's mixed SR.
We have an awesome, of course, they're mixed SR. And I think that, but generally we get some decent games in it, right? Like, maybe there's an oppressive widow, but
I just want to make sure, because I know sometimes people hear pugs and they hear organized and this, that, and the other. They're like, I'm not good enough for pugs. It's like, no. Anyone can play pugs.
We got bronze players, we got GM players in the same game. Don't even worry about it. It's a great way to learn. It's a great way to have fun. And I think we have a great community.
We do.
So.
We have an awesome community. And everyone in here, one thing I love about PECO, everyone's in here because they want to improve at Overwatch. So they have that same mentality. And it's just, it makes for a really good experience. You don't get like the sweaty tryhards and the rage and everything. See, I didn't apply since I don't really play company. Yeah, not to the same extent as ladder.
Of course.
So,
well, I mean, I don't think anything could be as bad as ladder.
That's fair. It's a pretty bad bar.
But I love this community. If you guys want to join and become a PECO member, you can join our Discord. Peeker, yes, it's amazing. You can join our Discord at discord.gg/PECO, PECO.
Do we still have the vanity?
Yes, we do, as far as I know currently.
Oh.
And if we and there's a channel, it's called Become a Member. It'll take you to our website where you can sign up. Like Caden said, we have community members, which are $1 a month. We have student members, which are $5 a month, and we have professional members, which is $10 a month. You can feel free to engage at your own level, and I am super excited to welcome any new people we got. This is going to be amazing.
Yes.
I'm so hyped for this next map. And on that note, we should probably throw it over to our caster because I think it's about time to start.
Yes. Sending it over to them.
Hell yes.
Welcome back, everybody. You got myself, Captain Jack, and Mixer ready to bring you into map 2. We were listening in along with y'all about strategies that are going to be utilized here on Dorado for this Neo Goats composition. Now, Mixer, we were talking a little bit about it before we actually got into the coaching, and surprisingly, they're going to be using a lot of common strategies that teams typically try to use here on Dorado, you know, trying to leave someone back on cart, and, you know, it's really going to be up to the defenders to be able to kind of draw the line in the sand saying, no, you shall not pass, the cart does not go past go, or collect $200, or collect this objective. And you know, like we said, it's going to be up to them to decide where those fights happen, because if they don't, then the attackers are just going to push their way through like a bulldozer.
They're just going to roll that cart from point A to point B all the way to the end of the map.
That's right. That's right. So it looks like PECO Platts is already ready to go. We're just waiting for project engagement to get set up here. So what would you recommend, based on what we saw from PECO Platts last time around, that they utilize now that they've gotten a little bit of practice on this composition?
Oh, just more so the dual engagement between their tanks and DPS, to be honest, because they did struggle with that a little bit there. And here comes the fight.
Yep, it's going to be a little bit different this time around, because as you see, the Echo has to be on cart. Somebody's got to be pushing that cart. Otherwise, the fights don't really mean much of anything. The poke comes in as O Canada does find Chase there on the high ground, but the trade comes in onto a Nor, and just beautiful right here from Reaper on that Echo is continuing to just kind of poke a little bit, and then pushes the card a little bit. Pokes in a little bit, pushes the card a little bit. And that advantage is really what's going to allow PECO Platts to get through this choke point with relative ease.
Yeah, that was actually a really clean engagement from PECO Platts. That coaching really has done them some favors there between maps.
Well, it's exactly like we said, right? The defense had to set the terms of the engagement, and they allowed PECO Platts. Well, they just allowed PECO Platts to take control of the high ground, right?
Yeah.
You know, and just allowing Reaper to continue to push that card forward. They might be able to re-engage here, but with Ogara already D-maxing out of the fight, Nor and O Canada getting the follow-up right there, it is a clean up team kill. Ringing out, and that is dead, done, and dusted. 5 minutes on the clock as they move to objective Bravo.
And we already see PECO Platts actually taking over the high ground here on second point as well, as the engage is already starting a little bit here with the poking.
Yeah, a little bit poke on the high ground, and that's the great part about this this Neo Goats. Dual coalescencies coming out for either side, as we see Lumen trying to keep up the team. Tarapu and Chase do get the trade right there as the coalescence gets shut down for PECO Platts. But that payload is still moving its way forward. Bits and pieces. O Canada in the pilot diva form, is going to go ahead and utilize said form to be the small body moving the objective, which is going to work out because they're going to be able to get that mech back with relative ease without getting picked off. The pressure still being pushed forward by the PECO Plats as they said, project engagement essentially back into the spawn area, preventing them from, well, engaging.
Yeah, project engagement really is struggling here. And not only that, but they're actually treating this more like a dive now.
Yeah, it seems that the shoe is on the other foot right here, but again, they have to be the ones to force this engagement as the defenders. They have to stop the cart where it is, and there we go. Ogara with the first remech kill, I believe, of the day, and Ize grabbing some additional damage with that Death Blossom, gets cleaned up by Chase, and at 3 minutes, the cart is going to be held at 89 meters.
Yep. I do believe, if I recall correctly from watching, that what happened there is the Moira actually went down rather quickly, actually. Tarpu just did not last for long in that fight, and that really actually did not help them at all in that scenario. They just got melted as a result.
And that's something that we've been talking a lot about, is that of course you have the Lucio for the AoE and the speed, but the big source of your healing is gonna be coming from that Moira. Again, Tarapu using the Coalescence to go ahead and engage. Canada sends a bomb. What? The bomb goes back, and Chased and Shake and Bake don't see it, but Reaper coming in with a self-destruct of their own takes down Air Culver, and the remech is tied 1-1 as Canada gets one of their own, grabbing objective Bravo, adding a minute and a half to the clock as they head into the bunker.
Well, Canada's bomb, they actually really won that fight. And to a lot of the lower-ranked players, that honestly is what you need to be going for, is 1 or 2 kills with that ultimate.
And that's the same with any ultimate, right? You want to be making sure, other than support, obviously, or maybe support as well, you know, if you're a Baptiste player or whatnot, as long as you get 1 elim, you've done something that changes the course of the fight in one way or another. Now we're going to see the beat used from Shake and Bake to go ahead and engage. Sucrose using it to counter and try to keep the team up, but Ogara does find Reaper amidst the chaos, but Ize, trying to hold everything together, just gets rockets to the face from Canada, but Ogara able to grab that double kill of their own with the self-destruct. That's going to go ahead and hold the objective for right now. The cleanup continuing to come in, but the cart is currently stalled just outside the gate.
Yep. It's like Canada may have had a big bomb there, but it didn't seem to have the correct picks for the team to win that fight.
Nah, just didn't grab the value that was needing to. The damage had already been done, and now there are 3 divas on the field as Chase goes ahead and pulls out the duplicate, moving their way to the outside as Canada, actually looking to be a little cheeky, was probably going to go try to get a little back cap action right here away from the rest of the team, but they're going to get chased down by Ogara and Shake and Bake and get staggered out right there. And actually a lot of PECO Plats getting staggered out right now. Team incredibly separated, some in spawn, some all over this second area of the map, and the more they keep being staggered out, the less they're going to be able to push that payload.
Yep, and that stagger is already seeming to feel like a little bit of a snowball. And with the Moira Lucio, you really need to be sticking together for that healing. But with the diving type of composition, that's sometimes not as possible as you'd think.
Yeah, it's like a mix. You can't go into that full brawl that we see when a Reinhardt's usually in that meta, but you do have to stick relatively together because the Moira doesn't have a whole lot of range like your Ana or your Baptiste. And it looks like it's going to be working out well for them right now. The 1-for-1 trade comes out as Tarpu does find Chase. So going to get that pesky Echo off the side of Project Engagement for just a little bit. And now with Ize out of the fight, it's going to be an Ize push, at least for the next 10 seconds, as we see the re-engage from Project Engage.
Correct. Project Engage really looking to still have really solid engagements here. And then we have PECO Plat's actually coming together, working as a team, working on their own engagements quite solidly. If I had to say there.
That's true. A very nice stagger, though, there at the end for Ogara.
Yeah.
It looks like they actually ended up giving up their ult percentage to be able to get back into the max. Self-destruct goes down, and the bubble. Air Culver on the wrong side of that bubble. So we do see the Blossom coming out from Ize as Reaper goes on the Reaper duplicate to see if they can go ahead and get that Death Blossom online, get these picks for them to clean this up. Just barely misses taking out Ize. That raid form just happened to be online for that fight. Chase finds Sucrose there in the back line, so now it's a 5v5. 4v5, the picks continue to come in, and the spawn advantage is for engagement right now. Their project, their mission is to be able to stop this card exactly where it is, and as overtime ticks away, Chase pops out a celebratory Death Blossom, taking down Sucrose, and the cart will be stalled at 77 meters.
Yeah. One thing I will say here that I noticed here is both Echoes actually duplicating the enemy Reaper. You know, like the one, it honestly felt like they did that to actually keep themselves up, because of the enemy Echo was starting to use focus beam on them to burn them down.
When they were in the diva form, right? And that's something that we've been talking about. The whole countering the counters is especially important when you're having these duo dive situations, because you don't want to be sending the Reaper in against the diva because she can just eat it up. And you don't want to be sending in the Echo against the Winston because the bubble prevents the beam from getting the full value that it needs to. So being sure to get those pairs off, even in the duplicate form, provides a lot of sustainability depending on what hero you end up choosing on the field. Looking at positioning right now, though, it looks like that coaching is indeed going to be paying off, as we see PECO Platts going for a little more spread out approach.
For sure. Though they could be spread out for the duration of the coaching and then regrouping, but I want to say they will probably be staying spread out for the first fight.
Mm-hmm. It definitely is the possibility, folks. While things are going on, and before we send it over to the teams, why don't you hit that subscribe button, folks? It's absolutely free, and it helps support the channel. Plus, you can ding that little bell right next to it, get notified every time that this channel is online. I've only seen a couple episodes so far, but it seems like they're doing a lot of amazing stuff here at PECO, and there's just a lot of information if you're an Overwatch player looking to get better at the game. So we're going to go ahead and throw it on over to the teams, see what those coaches are talking about.
Roll it out. Use your cooldowns to keep that engagement going until you find an opportunity to jump on a target and kill him. And then remember, as soon as you execute your target, you move on to the next one. Who's the next?
Make that.
You can, you can make this jump. Right? You can you can.
If I jump, I can.
You should do it with speed. Like, okay, wait. You have to use the stairs as a ramp. Like, you have to like.
I just missed time. I didn't jump. I just missed time because of ping.
We can also just amp you too. I think that works too. But.
And don't forget too, when we're talking about what ults the enemy has, like how are we going to counter those ultimates? So it's one thing to know what they have, but it's another thing entirely to understand how we want to do we want to disengage from this ult, or do we want to counter ult? It's just let's go a little bit more in depth when we're fight playing and make sure when we have any sort of lull time, that any time in between fights that we're doing a little bit of planning with our ults, enemy ults.
They know we're on red roof, by the way. The Reaper saw it.
That's fine. Because they're gonna struggle to push past it. Because if they go down here, we just drop on them. We go down here, we just drop on them. Like, all we gotta do is not use cooldowns, drop on their heads, do damage, and if we start losing the fight, jump away.
Yep, very good. That's essentially all you gotta do. So when we see a target, remember we're like one person. Like one person's controlling us. We're all looking at that target.
Chased, if you want to just, I don't know, fake call Reaper. Fake call a Reaper for us so that everyone knows.
My name is Alex. I've been playing Overwatch for a long time, and I haven't had a drink in 3 years. I'm just kidding.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Hey, you know, I got dad brain, you know, that's what I always throw it to. We were talking a little bit about strategy as to how this was going to work out, and the positioning of PECO Plats is an advantage and disadvantage right now. As we see, they've already taken control of the cart, kind of rotating the attack and defense positions right here. Very interestingly enough, it looks like this rotation is going to continue to work out for them, at least to stall out the cart some. Sucrose, though, able to get that initial pick, that final blow onto Eric Culver, taking that main tank out of the fight. Gonna be hard to be able to keep the rest of the team up, or at least keep this engage going. So it's gonna be a lot of poke, but Big Ben, that clock strikes for Shake and Bake, sending them back to spawn as well as chased soon after. And with this 4v6, it's gotta be a back off there from Project Engagement.
What's gonna be interesting here is the fact that the Moira actually cannot get up to that high ground again without the speed boost from her Lucio. From our understanding, anyway.
Yeah, it was very finessing. I'm not for certain if y'all were paying attention, but the Moira has to be on the stairs across from that high area, using the Lucio speed boost and fade to get into that high ground position. So Tarpu really has to pay attention to where they're at and being sure to not jump out of their hidey hole before the rest of the team engages. It is working out thus far as the Coalescence comes in. O'Gara already being demacked at the beginning of that fight as the rotation ends up chasing Project Engagement around the side. Oh, Canada sending Ize off the side, and Big Ben saying, you know what, I'll help. You know, I'll help tie it up, make it a little bit more fair, jump off the side myself, you know. Unfortunately, I think they're going to be wanting that back. Self-destruct comes in from O-Canada, grabs the duplicate and the bubble, so not going to be a lot of protection. Coalescence now coming out from Lumen, trying to light up the night and light up the enemy team as they go ahead and continue to try to push this card forward. Self-destruct going high for O'Gara, gets taken out by Anor's Blossom, but then trades with that after death elimination. The picks keep coming in for either side, but with Big Ben jumping off the side, I think that ended up creating the space and the terms that Project Engagement could take over this objective.
Yeah, that leap off the map by Big Ben there really actually probably is what lost them the fight to begin with on that one, because without the main tank, they actually lose a bit of space potential. And not only that, but the engagements were clean, but as stated, the leap, I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, well, sometimes you get excited as the monkey, right? Like, sometimes you just jump and you forget that you have to figure out where you're going after you jump. And sometimes it's a little too late to decide. The Blossom comes out from Ize, gets melted down by Tarapu's Coalescence, and Reaper comes out with a Blossom of their own on that Reaper duplicate. Anor, with that follow-up onto Eric Culver, is going to finish cleaning up the objective. And now we see Project Engagement with only 20 seconds on the clock to get into Objective Alpha.
Yeah, PECO's Plat's initial positioning actually working out quite well for them, actually. I was a little skeptical at first seeing how they were positioning, if that would be a good position for them to start in or not. Not gonna lie.
Well, I think the biggest thing that we were talking about before, right? It was about Tarapu hiding out and making sure that they didn't get taken out. No Canada taking out the other team, getting the double kill as Tarapu follows up onto Ize in their back line. And it is just easy peasy lemon squeezy as we go ahead and see the victory ring out loud and proud for the PECO Plat.
That coaching really helped them out significantly for how they engaged.
And the thing about it is that you know, we were talking about how Dorado and Hollywood are different in that way, right? That it's really up to the defenders on this particular map to be setting where those fights take place and the pace of the fights, because it's their goal to stop the moving cart. Whereas on Hollywood, the attackers really had to set where those fights were going to take place and set when those picks were going to be coming in, because they had to get the cart unlocked first. So it seems that these teams are now understanding kind of the momentum of the fight, kind of figuring out what that tempo is and realizing that on different maps, you may be in different positions and have to set the tempo in different ways. Whereas you're on the attack in Hollywood, you got to be the one that's engaging, aggressing. But on Dorado, it's really up to the defense to be able to be setting that tempo for the fight.
And as we saw there in that round 2, PECO Plots really did quite a good job doing that.
That's absolutely true. And it looks like we do have some extra time. So I was told that if we had extra time, we're going to be going into extra rounds. So we're going to throw you over to the desk to go ahead and break down the action so that we can get to map 3.
Yeah, that was really, really good to know when you said about how we were you were short on the thing.
Because a lot of times if you're low on resources and we're kind of an aggressive, that can be a prompt for okay to just kind of amp speed and we just get out. So that was really good.
I also think we needed to make the call to die on cart earlier, which is my bad.
Yep, that was one call I heard you make that we hadn't made. I mean, really didn't even get a chance to do it on last map, but even all on attacking round, we didn't necessarily make that call. That's a really important call. The die on cart call is really important because the longer we take to do that, it's just the more time that defense is winding off the clock.
Mm-hmm.
So the faster we die on cart, the faster we actually get a re-engagement, and really it's the most important to do on offense. Less so on defense. You actually want to do the opposite for defense. You want to really try to burn as much as you can, using as many resources without using ults to prolong that as possible. But on offense, dying a cart is probably one of the most important calls you can make for sure. One thing I want to focus on is third point offense. I think we had some pretty good opportunities for improvement there. Defense was really spot on. Like, I don't really have anything to say on that unless anybody's got anything they want to add feedback wise in regards to our defense that they thought they could have done or we could have done better as a team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're gonna have to restart your stream. It's kind of bugged.
Let's see.
I don't have any team things, but I'm having troubles finding value with my my Blossom. And that's probably just because it's at the wrong time.
That's Reaper Blossom, though. That's just...
Yep, so Reaper Blossom is really hard to get value out of with their comp because there's a lot of stuff that shuts it down, whether it's a simple Monkey Bubble,
right.
Diva Matrix, or even like... So one weird thing about Reaper Alt is when they changed it from being AoE around everybody, is what it does is it targets whoever's closest to it.
Mm-hmm.
So if their monkey is the closest one to your Blossom, he is tanking all of your Blossom.
Right.
Which is pretty easy to do as monkey.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel like you're having trouble getting value with your Death Blossom, that's something that we want to definitely set up some more communication on. So we're doing good at tracking alts and calling out what alts we have and what alts we want to use. But one thing I want us to get a little bit better at is what resources do we need to see used first before we can actually unleash these ultimates, right? So if we want to get better value out of Reaper ult, then let's make sure our top target priority for that fight, because we want to win with Reaper ult, is D.Va. So if we see the D.Va in a bad spot, or we see D.Va use her cooldowns, or we see, even if we just see that D.Va doesn't have Matrix, let's call that out, because that's the go button. Basically, when we have a plan of what ults do we want to use to win this fight, there's going to be a cooldown or an ultimate that's going to equal a go button, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's say, and then if we want to do a little bit better job of setting up our Reaper ult, let's do that too. Let's use this as an example. So our monkey jumps in, our D.Va follows. We use our Matrix to absorb a lot of that initial spam damage right away. We absorb the Mortar Orb, we absorb the Echo Bombs, we absorb a lot of that other of their Reaper's damage, and then we throw our monkey bubble down, which they're going to want to pour more resources into doing. And as that's happening, our Reaper is actually teleporting into the backline while they're focusing on our tanks, and then he's going to get to Blossom on the backline. So it's going to keep him away from enemy tanks, so the Blossom focuses on those smaller, squishier targets.
Yeah, so I don't know if you played Brig at all during the ball meta, in the ball sig meta. Finding a Reaper ult is a lot like finding value with Brig. There are very short periods of time where you can literally change the entire flow of the game just by pressing one button. But they're hard to spot, and they're very, very, like, timing-wise. So, it's not really an ult that you can go, hey, I'm going to use this ult here, and walk in and do it. It's more of a timing.
Yep.
Honestly, Reaper ult is better for like mid fights when people have used their like cooldowns, like Fade, Wraith. The DM's mostly gone. Maybe D.Va's out of mech. Like engaging with Reaper ult usually isn't good.
Yeah, and try and communicate Reaper ult a bit earlier for me, and I'll try and amp you into them a little bit faster.
Yeah, I can also DM you in too, so that you're not getting shot.
Yep, to add on the top of what Canada's saying, it's not something you want to initiate with, but it is something that like you want to plan around using this ultimate that fight. It's not something that you want to just sporadically use. I mean, if you do it and get 3 kills, that's awesome, right? But it's something you want to communicate, like, hey, I want to use Reaper out this fight, so let's keep in mind, like, it's not something we're going to engage with, but that means we need to be extra vigilant of enemy resources.
With them. The whole idea is to get in as a group onto a target. So if you're kind of chilling, like you're not Ana, you can't heal from range. You have to be left clicking pretty much inside of the in your teammates. So it just like look how low Culver gets because they don't have any healing. I think Culver does die because of it. Yeah. Also, what happens here?
I didn't see Reaper. I tried to get in and then 2 turn on me. I fight the Echo a little bit and need to get going away. I think it was still fine because I was fighting 2 for 1, so it still gives my team like the up advantage, but I'm not sure.
I mean, it depends.
Take a look. Like I wasn't sure where, like because Reaper teleported somewhere where I couldn't see, right? So I wasn't sure where he was.
Okay. Because I don't want to waste too much time on specifics because we only have a limited amount of time. There is some. So going into our defense. So if we go into third, quick. So, well. Also, this is very important. Do not stagger, because
I mean, I tried to help Monkey because he was somewhere.
The monkey's dead. Right? He's dying on point.
Right, but that was the decision. I was out.
Yeah. You can't do that because now you're gonna die and lose mech. You have to just let Monkey die. They're dying on point. But where's this fight? There's one in particular. I think this is it, actually.
I mean, I didn't.
You killed the monkey over here, which is really crazy that they let you get away with that. Nice job, Shake, by the way.
Thanks.
So, this fight here, I think, is the one that kind of devolves into chaos.
Which might be the previous one, actually, but...
All right. So we're gonna be calling it. I believe it sounds like. Let me go peep in with the casters in the desk right quick.
Hi, Kate. Yes, welcome.
Hello. We're here with our casters from today. Shout out again to Captain Jack and Mixer Kraken. Y'all did great.
Thank you.
We appreciate you guys coming in for we appreciate you guys coming in to cast for us. It really just simplifies it a bunch for us on our end, not having to be interesting along with doing
It's so hard to cast and run camera at the same time. It's like, at least cast can be exciting because I tunnel vision on what I'm looking at.
Makes sense.
So
to any person that has ever told me that it's not hard to do production and casting at the same time, you're a liar.
It's a lie.
All I gotta say about it. If you're doing it right, then then it's not easy at all.
Especially in a game like Overwatch that's just so fast paced. There's a lot.
Yeah, I mean you can get away with it. Games like Rocket League, they have kind of like their own built-in production suite. So like you can essentially autopilot the production and just have the caster running it all. But Overwatch is definitely not one of those games.
One of those.
No, it is not.
It's like the difference between casting golf and casting
golf.
Like, hockey. Like that's pretty much the difference right there. Like I understand that it's a soccer variant, but that's what I'm saying. Like it's slow enough pace that you can actually keep up with it if you're doing other things, but Overwatch is just not that. It is just not that.
It's a lot. The pace of it is a lot. So seriously appreciate it so much.
Thank you guys. Yes, of course. And of course, on just to mention for you guys again, we had on play-by-play Captain Jack 87, and we had on color Mixer Kraken. Mixer coming from our community, and Captain Jack a little bit more experienced, but it was nice to have that kind of professional touch on this as well. And so we thank you guys so much for coming on. I hope you guys enjoyed hanging out with us. And I'm going to turn it over to you guys now. Tell us where we can find you guys. Let's start with Captain Jack.
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much. And I appreciate Caden letting me know about this community and reaching out to help you all out. It was definitely a great opportunity. For me, you can find myself on a variety of different places. You can find me on Twitch at Captain Jack 87 or over on Twitter at CAPT_Jack 87. I usually update where I'm at, what's going on, what tournament I'm doing, or when I'm pulling my hair out, all on that beautiful social media bird page. So if you want to know where I'm at or where I'm hanging my hat, that'll be definitely the place to go. How about you, Mixer?
Okay, so for me on Twitch, it's just gonna be Mixer Kraken, and then on Twitter, it's actually gonna be Mixer_Kraken.
Just got confused.
When you gotta get the underscores.
Funny enough, my name already exists on Twitter, but it's banned.
Oh no!
I couldn't take CAPT Jack 87, unfortunately.
That's so funny.
And then got themselves
and then they got it banned. So. Oh, that's funny.
What an a-hole.
So one of those days in the future, when I'm hopefully big and I get verified, then I can be like, hey, can I have that?
Can I take that one? Thanks.
Can I have that one, please?
Yeah, actually, underscore originated from my Rocket League tag. So.
There you go. Yeah,
very nice.
Nobody even wants to get into a start with what my BNet's from. That's a story for another time. But thank you guys so much for coming and casting with us. If anybody in our community would like a opportunity to come and cast these, we do open signups. For members, of course, in the PECO community, you can come and join our Discord and become a member and get a chance to sign up to cast as well. We do bring from outside the community, such as with our lovely Captain Jack here, but generally that's for people who have a little bit more experience. But if you're looking to get your hand in and just try casting, because I know Mixer, this was possibly your first time casting something like of this that wasn't just practice, right?
That is true.
Yeah.
Awesome. Did you enjoy
your
experience?
For sure.
Awesome. So yeah, if you want to get your hand in this field, get some experience doing some of it, join our community and become a member, and we'll get you in here. Thank you guys so much again. I think we're gonna move on over to wrap up with the coaches and the players now, but of course, you guys are welcome to listen and stay in if you want. But again, thank you guys so much. And Kaden, you got anything else you want to say to our lovely casters?
No, I mean, I've said it already. Thank you so much, Jack. You know I love you. I was like, hey, so we're doing a thing, and last time I did it, it was really hard.
It's okay. It's okay.
So,
I mean, after 3 years, it is still hard, to be completely honest with you. But the way that I got started was in a small community that was opening up opportunities like these. So I say, at very least, if you're not sure, just try it out.
Yeah.
See if it's something that you're interested in. Sometimes it's more the position. Like for me, I'm a really excitable guy. Things make me happy and giddy very easily. So of course I'm a play-by-play caster because it's all talk, no brain. And so I leave the analysis to those that are more detail oriented. Really want to dig into the players and learn about the different metas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you find a good pairing of folks like that, and you make an awesome team. So again, if you're interested in getting involved, be a member of this community. They seem like a lot of good people, and of course the whole vibe here is all about education, learning about the various different ways that you can be better at what we're doing here in esports.
Yes,
exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself. And with that, I think we're going to head down to the lobby, start dragging some people in for our recap here. Thank you guys again so much. And yeah, Kaden, let's move on down.
Popping down. Thank you guys.
See ya.
All right. You want to start dragging them in?
Yes, ma'am. I'll start with 2. You start with 1.
All right. Sounds good. All right. I'm going to yoink Cyan into stream. Badoop. I just moved a whole channel. It's fine. Oh, I grabbed Dickety on accident.
Oh, that's everyone.
Hello.
Yes, we got the big channel. Hello, everybody.
It's wrap up time.
It is indeed wrap up time. Thank you all for participating in our second member melee. I hope you guys had fun. We are going to get that third match in, but I know that there's some people who do have to leave, so we wanted to get this wrap up in first. We're going to be doing that third match off stream. Sorry for everybody who wants, but if you want to join in and watch us, maybe we'll move on over to the member sections, and we'll do it in there so that anybody who wants to come in and who's a member could come in and watch for the rubber match. But I just wanted to very quickly go over and get everybody's feelings on this, do a little bit of a closeout discussion here, and we're going to start with the coaches. And of course, our lovely coaches this week were Ciceric, I forget how you actually pronounce yours.
Cy works.
Cy, easy peasy. And Unholy Canoe. So let's get your guys' thoughts on this. Cy, what did you think about this whole experience? Did you enjoy yourself? What do you think we could do better?
Overall, I think I really enjoyed the whole atmosphere of it. It was a fun way for people to learn. And overall, I had a really good experience with it.
Awesome. Did you like coaching? I know that you're for anybody who doesn't know, Cy is very much a vocal off tank player. He just hit Grandmaster like a couple of months ago. He's very, very good at the game, but sometimes skill doesn't transfer to coaching, and people who are very good at the game aren't always interested in coaching. But how do you feel about it, Cy?
I didn't tell him that I didn't break their spirits, I hope. So I think oh well, can we redact that? Can we take another take?
There weren't any audible tears, like it was okay.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Cy. I'm sure that we'll hear from your teammates, your team members soon. But let's go on over to our other coach here, Unholy Canoe. How did you find this experience?
I thought it was really awesome. I had some great players to work with. I think the difference that we were able to make together from our first push on Hollywood to going on a full hold on Dorado, I think that was really awesome. They really had the environment overall is based around learning and scrimming and trying to do your best with bringing 6 random people together that haven't ever played in a team before. So I think it's a great opportunity to get a good grasp on the macro concepts in regards to not only just Overwatch as a game, but whatever composition we're running for the member melees. So that part of it I thought was awesome. I haven't done a lot of esports coaching myself. This is really kind of the first experience I have coaching like an actual team together. So I had a great time with it.
Again?
Yeah.
I'd be willing to do it again. It was a good time. I
Nice.
liked it.
We didn't scare them away.
Well, thank you so much, coaches. We really appreciate you guys. Now I think we're just going to go down the list here and then maybe 10, 15 seconds. Tell us what you guys thought about this, what your experience was. Do you think anything else could be done differently? You have about 15, 20 seconds. Tell us what you guys think. Let's start off with, we're going to go down the list here. So let's start off with Eric Culper.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I never actually really get to play that like 6-man comp because I mean you don't see it in ladder ever. It was
true.
It was quite the learning curve, I would say.
It's a very complicated comp.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun though.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Eric Culver. Now let's go on to Anor.
Yeah, I mean, to tag off that, I had a good time as well. I thought my teammates were good. My coach was nice. We had a good time. Yeah, not much else to say other than that. Just a good time all around.
Awesome.
Thank you so much. And now we're on to Big Ben, who was one of our coaches last week. How was it on the other side, Ben?
No, it was great. Knew you did a really good job, I thought. If that's really your very first time coaching, I think you did amazing.
Thank you.
Really good job kind of touching on everything and basically boiling it down to the decision making with that team comp, which is what this event's based around. So really good job there. But as far as the player perspective, it was really fun. Definitely a lot of learning, like was previously mentioned, learning culture, and that's what makes it fun at the end of the day. And everyone else is here to have fun. So I enjoyed it again.
Thanks, Ben. Glad to have you back with us. And now let's move on to Chase Naver, who is AK Death in game. He's actually participating in the finals of GGEU, right? I think we're going to wish him good luck on that. But what did you think about this experience?
It was really fun, honestly. Yeah, for like
you were again one of our coaches
Yes.
last week, right?
Yeah,
So
Ben
how
and
was
Nave
this,
were our coaches last week.
So how did you find it on the other end here?
So I mean, getting better is fun. Like receiving coaching, like all day, like no problem. Tell me I'm shit.
Roast me.
No, like Sharp. No, wait, not Sharp. What psychic? Wrong. Yeah. Yeah, like a lot of times you focus a lot of macro stuff, and a lot of times it's nice to try to give more player by player feedback, and mostly the ones that are like micro to macro to be like, I don't know, to use the big words, right? So like, how does my cooldowns and how does my play affect the team, and especially for like lower SARs, it's like way easier to start from there than build into the macro decisions themselves. But yeah, other than that, it was really fun.
Awesome.
Yay.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your feedback, Chase. Appreciate it.
And good luck in the finals.
And good luck in the finals. Now we're moving on to Ogara here.
Yeah.
We skipped Oki.
This.
Damn.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
He skipped Oki. Oh my gosh, Sharp. Toxic. So toxic.
We'll circle back. I'm sorry.
I'll be asleep by the time we fucking circle back.
Ogara go and then we'll do Oki. Yeah.
So I go first?
Yeah, go ahead and go. We'll get Oki after you.
I really felt like I was pushed into the deep end there. I did play like shit. I don't think I could get much out of this honestly, because I had issues on all fronts, like communication with the team, getting like intaking all the information because it is so different from what I'm used to playing.
The composition or the team environment, do you mean?
Like team environment, I mean this composition, I mean I think we all know is like
it's
not a naturally evolving thing, but it was specifically is specifically here to die now because now the bands are gone, right?
Exactly.
So I'm also wasn't well, I didn't play this and I was basically on standby, so I didn't play with these
Yeah.
people before. So I mean, they were all very nice, and the coaching was great. It's just I couldn't get any much out of me because I couldn't concentrate on the one thing or on two things because everything was like, oh, I should know this, but I don't, and I should follow the call, but I'm so busy trying to figure out anything that I really feel like I played really, really poorly. And
I don't think you played that poorly. You got a couple of big diva bombs. You were doing your job, it looked like, but of course. You're free to have your own opinion and to be hard on yourself, but I think you did great. I'm sorry that we appreciate you coming in as our alternate. Of course, some people don't show up, or some people have conflicts day of that are unforeseen. We have some alternates, and Ogara was one of those, and we do very much appreciate that. I'm sorry it caused you a little bit of mental anguish, but we really do appreciate you coming in, and I hope you had some fun with your team and stuff like that too.
I just want to also add to just some kudos for Ogara. One, like you said, you came in as a sub. Two, you didn't really get to play with people. Some of them got to play yesterday ahead of time. And three, you also came in on Diva, who has so many jobs within this composition. Like, she has so much, like, I have a coach who's referred to her as, like, the Swiss Army knife of off tanks right now. Like, yeah. Yeah, like Tickety. Yeah, actually, yeah. And so it's like, it's you came in as, like, one of the harder, like, more, like, multitask characters for it. And so, you know, but I mean, you did great. I'm sorry it was rough.
I'm fine. You don't need to kind of. It's okay.
It's okay.
It's all right. It's all right.
So, yeah.
Right? It's just for me, it was just too much at once.
Okay, and that's fair. It is a lot in like a 2-hour period. Just yeah.
It is kind of like an out of the like right into the fire kind of thing. Like
it's totally a into the fire thing. Circle back to
hopefully
Oki.
it's to give people a taste of what it's like to be in a more organized team environment, especially for people who've never done this kind of thing before. But thank you so much, Ogara. I hopefully if you join us again, you'll have a little bit more of a positive experience. But let's circle on back to Oki here, like I promised. Hi, Oki. What did you think about this?
Oki's tired.
I'm exhausted. I'm having an absolute ball though. This is so much fun. The team is absolutely wonderful to play with, and the coach is absolutely great as well. Really want to do it again. It's so good.
You're a gem.
Even though you're up at like 1:30 right now in the morning.
Yeah, for anybody who doesn't know, Oki's joining us from the AU, so...
Yeah.
It's 4 a.m.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah, go to
we
sleep.
Appreciate your commitment.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Get some sleep.
I'm fairly sure my parents are about to walk in my room and murder me for keeping them awake.
Oh no.
You win some, you lose some.
Go and do what you need to do. We won't keep you much longer. Thank you so much again.
I want to play map 3. I want to
okay, fine.
All right, we speed through these. Sai. Oh wait, no, we did Sai.
Hello.
Reaper, yes.
Hello.
What did you think about this whole experience?
First, I feel set up. But other than that, you know, the team was good. The coach was fine. I hate Echo.
Fine.
Not putting any more than 2 hours on this hero.
Yeah, but you did great without even all that, right? You got some. It's helpful in the team environment to know your role, and then you don't need to be, you know, the best person ever on this hero if you can just do your job, right?
Sharp, I'm pretty sure I had like 8 on them both games.
Hey, you were doing fine, man.
I saw you get some Reaper dupes.
Full elims.
It's not about how many kills you get; it's how much value that kill gets, right?
Boom.
Now let's say that in comp and see how that happens.
Good luck.
Well, thank you for filling in for us, Reaper. You're the best. We appreciate you. And let's move on to Rose here.
Hi. Reaper is so boring.
Whoa.
Oh no!
Sorry, just had to get that off my chest.
What
happened? I had a pretty good time. I didn't know our shot caller wasn't our monkey until after the second map, so I think I could have done a little bit better.
If you knew where the shots were coming, the calls were coming from.
Yeah.
Oh boy!
First time playing together, guys! Yay!
But hopefully you enjoyed the experience regardless.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully you'll join us again. I hope you had a good time. And let's move on to Shake and Bake here.
Yeah, just a quick shout out, I think, to Sai. I think, again, he did a really good job of giving everyone like one or two things to think about. And, as a coach, I think it's always a struggle, not, picking on too many things or being too macro. And I think he did a good job of being macro while giving, everyone a couple of things to think about and really work on.
Well, thank you so much, Shake. I'm sure Sai appreciates that. We have Tarapu now.
The nail. Joke aside, no, it was very cool. I think that's the Overwatch we all want to play. Like, it was really fun to play with everyone. The cut was good. We were ready to get in the game and do some cool shit.
Yay.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Let's move on to Truly Canadian, who was Canada in game.
Yeah, I think it was really fun. I think for a lot of people who aren't used to scrimming and like being on a team, it's like a good first experience to knowing to having a live coach, having strats, like knowing everybody's roles. Where like the comp setting's a bit more chaotic and just kind of just killed the other team as fast as possible. It's a bit more.
For sure, yeah, and it's also like for somebody, it's definitely the inferior experience for somebody who has a lot of team experience, right? And like it's not like you're building up with the same team over time. For everybody, of course, this is 6 people who we've kind of thrown together and been like, hey, you're a team now. Good luck.
Good luck, have fun.
Good luck, have fun. But definitely it is a good taste for people and also for the coaches, right, who have never done it before. And also I think that there is some value in the fact that we've seen this comp played at the Overwatch League level a whole lot, but because Reinhardt's available, you don't often see it in comp. So it's kind of cool to experience it firsthand. I don't know how you feel about that, but I thought that was at least an interesting thing to try out here.
Got to see it outside of Owl.
Yeah.
In the wild, sort of.
Exactly. And to try it out for yourself, right? Because you think you know what's going on until you're in it, and then you realize you don't know a lot of what's going on.
All the moving pieces.
And then I think we got the last person here is Lumen.
Mm-hmm.
I played Moria. I existed.
Let's go.
Good job. Good job.
You hit Q real good and beamed people down pretty good too.
You healed stuff. You didn't feed.
Props to Sai. It was very beneficial to play a scrim with it before the actual event or before previously. If future coaches wanted.
That was one of the big feedbacks we got, where people were like, "Hey, like, if we can encourage people to like try to get together beforehand."
We bumped up the roster building day too.
It will be a long time before I play 6 hours of scrims without a break again.
Oh my gosh.
That is a kind of nutty experience.
What is wrong with you people?
You guys aren't octuple blocking every day.
Octuple blocking.
Double block.
You don't only exist to scrim and drink monsters and then go again?
And of course, bio breaks are a thing of the past.
Right.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming in. We really hope you guys enjoyed all of this. If you guys want to do it, we think we want to do a map 3. I know Chase had to back out. Maybe I'll fill. Who knows?
Yeah, I know we've got a couple people that have messaged me that they've got other time commitments, so we may not have enough people. But we'll figure it out.
Go again at Member Melee or something like that, or Member Monday. Maybe we'll go again. That was the plan last time around.
Schedule Member Monday later, please.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think that works for
Tuesday.
poor Oki
we'll work it out
on that AU time.
We'll post a poll and see when we can get this rubber match in. But thank you guys again so much for coming. The last thing we're gonna have here is we're gonna have the 2 coaches come together with Tickety, and Tickety is going to give you a few notes on what you guys were up to. He was listening the whole time. And of course, we love Tickety, so we appreciate him for doing that. But yeah, everybody else, thank you guys so much for coming. We're going to leave now. Thank you, and have a good day, everybody.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you.
Cheers, it was fun.
All right, and then coaches will drag y'all up.
Unofficial everyone.
All right, I will grab Canoe. You already grabbed Canoe. Where's Sai?
Hello,
oh, you already grabbed Jeez.
Howdy.
I'm so tired.
I'm like I'm the quickest Discord mover in the West.
I've been up since 6:30 this morning. I'm still processing things. Let's go.
That's what I'm here for.
Yay.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming and being our member coaches. We hope you guys enjoyed the hell out of this. And yeah, so Tickety's here. He was listening in on you guys coaching, taking a little bit of some notes on pretty much, I would think, like, you know, what your coaching style was, what he thought was effective, what he wasn't. He's going to probably give you guys, and I don't know why I'm speaking for him, but he'll probably give you guys some notes individually, and then like do a little bit of a closing thing. So I'll shut up now.
Gosh.
Okay, so yeah, hey guys. I'm gonna do this a little bit differently than I did it last week. And instead of giving you guys individual notes, there was a lot of things I noticed in terms of similarities from both your coaching styles. So I'm just gonna give some general notes from what I picked up. Right on. So first thing, and I think this might be something we include as part of the coaching handbook from now on, is that this format doesn't suit a lot of sort of strict coaching or like strict role giving, and I wanted to point to this in both terms of communication roles and like strict like jobs as a hero and things like this. So both you guys as teams were started out by like assigning communication roles, like people tracking ults, people target calling and stuff like that, which can be good if you happen to click with one of your players really well. But I would err on the side of caution in this regard because, again, these are people coming together for this one event. They're likely not going to be playing again together anytime soon, and they don't have a lot of time to really find their role. So when it comes to communication specifically, I would have liked to hear, instead of tying it all to a single person and putting that expectation on one person, like being able to spread out those responsibilities. So like instead of having someone be the strict target caller, that kind of thing, hey, be like, hey, Echo, if you see a target that you hit with all your stickies, you can call them as a target. Hey, Monkey, when you're jumping in, make sure you're jumping in with a target. Hey, if anyone sees a cooldown being wasted, we can call them as a target, these kind of things, so that it helps more people shoulder that responsibility instead of trying to hone one person in on it strictly, that kind of thing. A little bit about the actual composition and about this bit of a wonky meta. You guys both put a ton of emphasis on the hard engage, and that is very, very important, but I think there was a lot missed in terms of the sort of back and forth in neutral and a lot of being able to read when is necessary to disengage. Canoe, I remember hearing you starting to talk on this towards the VOD review of the second map, but I think this is something that needed to be covered a little bit sooner because both teams were very, very focused on just committing everything as soon as they could, and there wasn't really enough talk about how do we force an advantage that's worth committing on, or how do we play neutral, get more poke in, force more cooldowns, these kind of things before we actually go all in, that I think could have helped both teams a lot. As well as like a focus on not just the open engage, but like extending engages. So how do you soft engage? How do you layer ultimates one after the other? What do you look for when calling a disengage? These kind of things, rather than just the first step, because both teams were kind of finding some plan of action, especially on attack, and then they'd execute it, and either they would just wipe the enemy team and like snowball off that, or they would hit a wall and then it would just devolve into pure chaos for both teams. So I think that's why on Hollywood, for example, both teams were very much defender favored, because attacking is obviously a lot more strict in a composition like this when it comes to actually deciding on that engage, and more talk about the neutral, more talk about the back and forth, and finding those advantages in the first place, I think could have helped there. Another thing about the meta specifically is both of you guys talked a lot about the comp staying together, like very much mirroring the GOAT's playstyle. And I think it's important to point out that there is no Reinhardt in this composition. And we have DPS like Echo and Reaper who want to be a lot more flexible in the composition itself, especially, like I said, in that neutral before the team is hard committed. Like, absolutely, well, you're right. When you go in for an engage, we commit together on one target in the same space. But leading into that engage, we can do things like look for aggressive TP plays, look for aggressive flanks with Echo for sticky bomb plays, look to come in from off angles and these kind of things that I don't think was touched on enough. Moving more into the actual delivery of coaching. Sorry, I've got a lot of notes today. Moving into the delivery of coaching. When we started talking about the second map, I was sort of jumping between both of you guys, so I didn't get a full picture of everything you guys were talking about, but the general feeling I got from your second map prep was that it felt a lot similar to the first map prep. And what I mean by that is almost like we approached these maps very individually and didn't try to grow on what we had learned from the first map, taking that into our second map. So it's good to cover map specifics. It's good to go over what changes from the first map to the second, these kind of things. But it's even more important to grow as a team and develop all the skills that we just saw in action from the first map. I would have liked to see using specific examples for the first map, but then just throwing them into the context of Dorado, our second map, being like, hey, you know how this happened on Hollywood? Well, we can try this here on Dorado and see if this works better. Or remember how they did this when they were on defense? Watch out for this happening on Dorado in the same way, because they still have this high ground, XYZ, these kind of things. Making sure that we are actually growing over the course of this event, not just targeting map by map. And then final note, just to the sort of direction of a lot of the feedback, this improved from both of you guys towards the end of the block, but I think it was sort of like flipped on its head where we focused on a lot of very specific things, whether that was map specifics, fight specifics, or hero specifics in our initial review and in our first VOD review. And it wasn't until later on that we started putting more emphasis on the sort of like the broader strokes of the composition, like the engage timings and decisiveness and strict target focus and these kind of things. And it kind of felt like we were slow to develop those fundamentals and slow to develop the big picture of what the composition is trying to do, and instead focused too much on the individual aspect. And I would like to see those priorities sort of flipped. So when we're going into our first map, like, not everyone needs to know like all the little jobs they need to do, but they need to know what the composition is they're trying to do as a 6-man. We don't need to min-max every piece until we've laid those fundamentals out, because that's what we're going to be building on to hone the composition further and push individual limits a little bit further. But yeah, like I said, it did definitely clean up towards the end of the block, so you guys sort of got more into your rhythm and started noticing these things that yourselves, I'm sure. But yeah, I would have liked to see priority on that right from the beginning.
Right on.
And yeah, that's all I have for notes. Were there any questions you guys had?
No, I mean, I think you hit on everything.
Yeah. All right, good stuff. But like, by the way, this is just like the notes I took for like improvement notes. You guys did a lot of really good stuff. I think you guys are both really good communicators. Listening into both you guys, there was no problem like understanding you, and I could understand the concepts you were trying to relay like almost immediately. I think there just needs to be like a reprioritization about what the actual content of your feedback looks like.
Yeah, no, that definitely makes a lot of sense for sure.
Yeah, that's funny because a lot of the times with coaches, especially players who become coaches, the issue is not about content but about communication.
Mm-hmm.
From what you're saying, Tickety, it
was the opposite.
Like it was the other way around. Where it was like you guys had all of the content there and you were communicating it well. It was just priority, like what to say first, what to say second, what to emphasize. And that's big as a coach, right? Because like if you emphasize the wrong thing, your team will like focus the wrong thing, right? And like that can be like,
absolutely.
although they have all of the information, they won't be executing or like prioritizing the correct information in game.
Yeah, especially important when you're on a pretty strict time constraint. When you only have 15 minutes, you got to make sure there's one big takeaway at least that they're walking away with that.
And that was something big I know that you guys had to deal with during the Overwatch League. Like in between matches, you have a time and
oh yeah,
this is the commercial break, and that is it.
They would just cut off our mics. We wouldn't even get to like wrap things up if we weren't ready.
Like, okay, bye.
Like, and it's game time, so yeah.
No, that all makes a lot of sense. One thing I noticed, like pretty much going to map 2, I was like trying not to focus as much on the specifics because I then realized I was like, oh well, you can't focus on anything that requires a huge ton of team synergy because it's just not going to be there. Everybody needs to understand what the real big picture is so they can focus on what their own decision making is going towards that big picture. I think I wanted to try that, but I took a really weird roundabout way to doing that.
Yeah, like I said, you both were getting there for sure.
Part of the learning experience as well.
Yeah, I haven't done any like full like team coaching, so it was because normally I do like one-on-one with people.
Okay.
It's like it's a different experience.
It's a lot more of a management thing, right? It's less.
It's a different game.
It's like the difference between being a teacher and being a tutor, right? It's like tutors, you're having a one-on-one conversation with somebody, and you're teaching directly to that person. Whereas a team, not only do you need to help all of the individual people, but you also need to coach communication and team cohesion and
Mm-hmm.
all these kind of things. It's a whole extra set of it's a whole different field that has like its own communication from your perspective, its own communication issues, and it's kind of a whole new beast. And I think it's a really rewarding one if you can get it done, but also a lot harder, in my opinion, to coach a team than a person.
There's just something, I think, one thing to emphasize with the member melee, we talk a lot about how this is the first time the players have played together. This is the first time they've done this comp together, et cetera, et cetera. There's also the first time the coaches, Canoe, whoever joins in the future, is the first time they're doing any sort of like flash scrim coaching like this as well, where they're also confined to like, you can only coach this meta, like, or whatever the theme is that week. It's like, you have to focus on this. So I mean, it's new for them as well, and so I think y'all did really great. It's so cool to see so far, like the difference in the coaching that goes in and the understanding of that the players get in between map 1 and map 2. Because that was it's always fun to see the actual like sort of product of it live.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Has Member Monday ever done Sig Ball comp?
Member Monday or Member Melee?
Member Melee.
No, I don't think
we did it in a SmackDown a long time ago, I think.
Okay.
I think that was like our very first SmackDown.
That's a really fun comp to watch.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking. I was like, oh, what could be even more complex
Even more
than 6-man dive?
I was gonna say, I was like, that has so many moving pieces.
6 moving pieces, all operating individually to get them to accomplish
For
like a
one-
macro strategy. You want to do Sig Ball because that's really what it is.
Yeah.
That was, I mean, and that's also just fun to watch too. It's pretty crazy.
We can
maybe we
can
torture the
think about
coaches
it.
next
Yeah.
week with that.
Good luck. Have fun, guys.
If you guys have no more questions, thank you guys so much for being our coaches. I know that this is it's a lot to be the coach, right? Because like, yeah, if you're an individual person playing, like maybe you make some mistakes, maybe stuff like that, but as the coach, you feel like all eyes are kind of on you, and we really appreciate you guys volunteering for this. It's awesome experience. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Tickety, thank you so much for coming in and listening in and giving us your thoughts. I'm sure these guys appreciate it as well. And I think that would be just about it from us. Is that right, Caden?
Yep, that is it for the day. We were gonna attempt to get a third map in since the first 2 went fairly quickly, but then
schedules
be schedules. So it'd be like that. So we'll probably always end up sticking with 2 maps just for sake of time. But it was really fun. This was our second one, like I said at the beginning, with the awesome echo, because I'm so smart. Yeah, this is our second member melee, did the June Joust Neo Goat, and we'll be doing these every 2 weeks. If you want to get in on it, just make sure you join PECO, discord.gg/PECO, and go to the Become a Member channel, become a member, watch for the announcement, and sign up for the next one. You can sign up as a player, a coach, or a caster. So
yeah,
all the
we usually
things.
Post those announcements about a week prior to the event. So every other Saturday is the event. In between Saturdays are when we post the signups. Make sure you get there. It's not first come first serve. We usually try to balance these teams as best as we can. But you do have to sign up to be in it. You get about a 3-day window. So yeah, come on, join us. Whole community is great. Of course, we want to say, besides Member Melee, we do Member Monday, which is our exclusive event where usually we have Tickety host a little Q&A section. I think this week we're doing another panel discussion as a little bit of a teaser for you guys, if we can get that going. It'll be
We'll be putting out an
super
announcement about that soon.
Yeah,
Soon
and so keep an
TM.
eye out for that one.
But actually soon.
Yeah, soon TM.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a great community. We got more and more events coming. We got a lot of plans in the works. So join on up. We have awesome discussions about Overwatch and pro Overwatch and coaching and mental, and it's really just a positive community. We hope you guys join us. And if not, you can keep watching us here and watching and enjoying the festivities in chat. We really appreciate you, chat. I see you all, Air Culver, RWL, all of y'all in chat. Thank you guys for joining us. Have a good one, everybody. I've been Sharp. Thank you to our casters, our coaches, our players, and of course, thank you to the lovely Caden, who is our wonderful. She does all the production. She helps with me. She helps with me on the desk. She's amazing. And we wouldn't be able to do any of this without you. So thank you so much, Caden.
You too.
Have a good one, everybody.
Have a good night, day. Have a good day. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell and thumbs up. Because we're on YouTube. Yeah. Give us a thumbs up, like, and subscribe.